Good morning everyone, it's the 1st of November 2008 and here we are today at the Courthouse Hotel in Southport for the Australian Republican Movement Gold Coast Forum. This is the venue for today's event. We're at the Courthouse Hotel, located in the heart of Southport on the Gold Coast. I'm a Republican.
Thank you for coming here today. It's nice to see a few, I was going to say old familiar faces, but I'm the old face here today as well. Familiar faces, going back to when we first started this forum way back in about 1993, I think it was. It started in a basement in my townhouse where I was living at the time in Reedy Creek. And from that started a movement on the Gold Coast which was very effective in that we had 150 people out on referendum day to push for the cause that we lost. This is why we're here today. And I'm pleased to say that for you people here today, the fire still burns and you're still keeping the dream alive, and this is what I hope to do as well. Now, we're going to start today. First of all, I should tell you, Gary Chantforth, who was our convener for several years. Gary has resigned from the movement. He had his sister had a very severe stroke and he was looking after her. He can't be here. And what we're going to do today, we're going to have first of all a meeting of the forum at the Gold Coast Tweed Forum. We call it the Tweed Forum, it's now Gold Coast Tweed. And we're going to elect a new forum convener. And we will not have any nominations from the floor because it's all been jacked up. That's the way things work these days. I can remember that when we formed the Queensland branch of the ARM back in about 1993 or 94, I chaired that meeting in the Heritage Hotel in Brisbane, and to my right stood a certain Malcolm Turnbull. And I called for nominations for the committee like I did this morning, and it was not jacked up because we didn't know he was going to come. And I called for nominations for the committee, and Malcolm whispered into my ear, this should have been organised. You can imagine what he said. And I turned to Malcolm and I said, Malcolm, this is democracy. And so it was. All right, now we have a nomination from the floor for the new convener of the new Gold Coast Tweed Forum, and it's a gentleman at the back with the camera, and I nominate Andrew Grother as our new convener. Everyone applaud.
Thank you.
I will second that, Roy.
You're second that. Second and passed by acclamation. That's lovely. And now what we'll do, we'll also have a call for people for the committee. I will self-nominate myself onto the committee, and I'll probably be deputy convener. Okay? Any volunteers for the committee? If you don't volunteer, it doesn't really matter. We'll jack up somebody else. Jack up. Joe Cotter. This is Joe Cotter, who's been a member of the committee on the forum for quite some time. Joe was there in 19... Joe used to own a restaurant in Canberra. It was called the...
Shalimar and the Gitanto.
And that's where the politicians went after the general deliberations. Joe knows all the inside stories about who's doing what with whom and how they did it. Don't you, Joe?
That's where the ACT chapter Republican movement was started by Malcolm Turnbull at Gitanto. It's in Brian Labasha's book.
One day Joe will write a book about this, and people will pay him not to be in the book. Okay, now that's the forum business over. I'll quickly tell you, we've got about $200 in the bank, thanks to some people recently, some here today. Thank you for that, sending us some money, and we hope to build upon that. When we started the forum, 92, 93 in my place, we had a smaller crowd than this, in fact, in the room when we started, and we grew and we became a very effective. We think we are probably the most, not the most, one of the most effective and busy forums in the whole of Australia. But we had some very famous people come to speak to us at the hotels. You might remember that we had former Governor General Sir Zelman Cowan and the lady from Patricia Holmes of Court over from Perth.
Janet Holmes of Court.
Janet Holmes of Court, that's right, that's her name. We had great fun that we still lost. That's why we're here today. But the dream is still alive and the fire still burns for us. And that's why I say we're here today. Okay, I'd like to call now upon Andrew, if you just put the camera down, Andrew. And you'd like to say a few words to the assembled crowd.